asked my husband if we could adopt our foster baby with Down syndrome, and he said he refuses to spend his life taking care of damaged goods. We'd been foster parents for 3 years doing only respite care, and when the agency called about a 10-month-old with Down syndrome needing emergency care for a week, we agreed. Then the original foster family called saying they couldn't handle long-term placement and Charlie needed a new home. My husband found out the caseworker wanted to talk to us about adopting. He came home furious. This was temporary, he said coldly. I kept rocking Charlie. She needs a family, I said quietly. He laughed bitterly. Then let someone else deal with it. I didn't sign up for this. I set Charlie in her crib before turning to face him, my eyes boring into him until he broke eye contact and walked out of the nursery. That night, he moved into the guest room without a word. The next morning, I found him in the kitchen while Charlie babbled in her high chair. I asked if he wanted to feed her, and he looked at me like I'd suggested something obscene. That's your project, he said flatly. When I returned from Charlie's pediatrician appointment with news that she was hitting all her milestones beautifully, he barely looked up from his phone. Great, he said in a tone that meant the opposite. That evening, my sister called about the potential adoption, and I saw him listening from the hallway with his jaw clenched. After I hung up, he came into the living room where I was playing with Charlie. This place looks like a daycare, he grunted, looking around at the toys scattered on the floor. I didn't respond, just kept stacking blocks with Charlie. The next day, I came home from work to find he'd moved all of Charlie's things into the smallest bedroom, the one we'd been using for storage. If you're so set on this, at least keep her stuff out of the way, he said when I confronted him. I moved everything back while he watched from the doorway with his arms crossed. Then my mom stopped by to meet Charlie. She was instantly smitten, making Charlie giggle while my husband sat in the corner with headphones in like we didn't exist. When my mom asked him about the adoption, he pulled out one earbud. I think my wife has lost her mind and is about to ruin both our lives for a kid who'll never be independent. My mom's face went pale. After she left, I put Charlie down for her nap and knew exactly what I had to do. I found him packing for a work trip scheduled for when the adoption paperwork was due. We need to talk, I said. There's nothing to talk about. I closed his suitcase. Sit down, he did. For 3 years, I've waited for you to be ready to adopt a child. 3 years of excuses about how it's not the right time. I believed you actually wanted this. His face crumbled and tears formed. I do, he said, voice breaking. Just not like this. Not with this one. He reached for my hand, but I stepped back. You're trying to make me feel guilty for loving a child. It won't work. The tears stopped instantly. Fine, he snarled. That baby is going to be a burden her entire life. You're going to wake up one day and realize you destroyed our marriage for damaged goods. I walked to the nursery where Charlie was awake with arms reaching up. I picked her up and she snuggled into my shoulder, patting my back. She'd started pulling herself up on furniture. She'd learned to wave. She smiled every time she saw my face. I carried her back to where he stood. I held Charlie close and looked him in the eyes. After what you said about this sweet girl, the only damaged goods around here is our marriage. Get out. He froze, eyes wide. You can't be serious. Pack your things and leave or I'll call my brother. He stumbled over words about therapy and how I was throwing everything away. I walked downstairs with Charlie and made her a bottle while he followed. I could adjust, he said desperately. I turned with Charlie reaching for the bottle. You just told me who you are. You're cruel and selfish. The second love requires sacrifice. You bail. I'm choosing her. Get out of my house. His face went through shock and anger before landing on resentment. You're going to regret this. The only thing I regret is not kicking you out sooner. He left that night with 2 suitcases. After his car pulled out, I sat with Charlie and looked around at our living room. Wedding photos stared back from every surface. Charlie reached for the picture frame on the coffee table and I picked it up. I didn't recognize that version of myself anymore. I scrolled through pictures of Charlie and printed my favorites. Then I replaced the photos in the frames one by one and chucked the ones with my future ex-husband in the trash where they belonged.